This week on ANN, top leaders for the Seventh Day Adventist Church conclude their leadership conference.
Adventists continue to help after flooding in Australia.
And Jamaican young people come together to help their community.
These stories and more coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, last week we reported how the Adventist Church's top world leaders met in Jamaica for some healthy lifestyle training. Now we can report on the wrap-up of that meeting.
The Seventh Day Adventist Church world leaders rejoiced over healthier bodies after a week of exercise and plant-based meals in Jamaica. Adventist World Church President Ted N.C. Wilson implored them to maintain healthy lifestyles and serve as living examples of the Adventist health message to the world.
The summit, themed Wholeness in Christ, Mission, Vision in Action, opened at 6:30 a.m. with leaders and spouses lining up to undergo medical checks for blood sugar and cholesterol in a hotel conference hall. It ended February 10 with a final medical check to assess changes in attendees' health, followed by worship and final remarks from summit organizers.
Wilson, who with other leaders conducted evangelistic meetings on the sidelines of the summit, recalled hearing an unusual comment from Glenn Samuels, the president of the Adventist Church's West Jamaica Conference, whose territory includes Montego Bay. He said, "I am not going to die until I'm dead." Wilson said, turning to church leaders, he said, "I encourage you to, as Jesus said in John 10:10, live life and live it abundantly. Don't die before you're dead. Don't give up. Just keep moving ahead."
For more information on this event, visit news.adventist.org.
As the cleanup begins in Townsville, Australia, Adventist volunteers are doing what they can to help the flood victims. Following days of torrential rain, the weather has eased and people are now beginning to return to their homes and their businesses. Hundreds of homes have suffered severe flood damage, including 252 that are uninhabitable. Aitkenville Seventh-day Adventist Church youth leader Nathan Burke has been busy coordinating teams of church members who have been volunteering under the banner of the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Australia. The volunteers have been helping with filling sandbags and distributing them to those who need them, as well as collecting donations of food and clothing to help families in evacuation centers. They have also provided food to the South Australian State Emergency Service workers and other emergency services personnel. Burke said, "Being the hands and feet of Jesus, that's what it's all about. It's been great that people have been able to understand who ADRA is. While it's been a really horrible time, the amount of donations and support from the community has been overwhelming."
With the goal of sharing positive values, encouraging spiritual devotion and transformation, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Jamaica launched its first mobile clinic dubbed HYPE, or Helping Young People Engage. Speaking at the launch, President of the Adventist Church in Jamaica, Everett Brown, challenged the gathering and the nation to invest in the education of our young people. Brown said, a church's greatest asset lies in its people. When people come together and pool resources, there is no limit to what can be achieved. We need to invest in our human resource. Investment in the education of young people will reap great dividends for our church and nation. The main objective of HYPE is to engage youth in acts of service while providing health care and promoting lifestyle changes. HYPE is also planning an intentional sports program to connect youth of the church with youth of the community. It is non-discriminatory and will seek to serve across religions, ethnicity, and political persuasions. During the launch, funds and medical equipment were donated by the HYPE initiative by the Dental Place Cosmetics and Spa. HYPE is a youth ministries initiative of the Adventist Church in Jamaica and born from proposals made by young people from around the Adventist World Church.
60 departmental leaders and their teams across Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania now have greater understanding in dealing with mental health issues thanks to a three-part series run in the Baltic Union over the past year. The rationale behind the course is that church leaders are all actively involved in communication with church members and people from the surrounding communities. This course was run by the Director of Family Ministries for the Adventist Church in Trans-Europe, Karen Holford, and Associate Director for the Seventh-day Adventist Church's Health Ministries Department, Torben Berglund. Holford explained that mental wellness is an important issue because it touches all of our lives in some way. Loneliness, broken relationships, and stressful lifestyles are just a few of the factors that can increase the risk of mental unwellness and distress in our lives, as well as the lives of those we love and the community around us. The course is intended to upgrade participants' people skills, to help them understand common mental health challenges people face, to be good peacemakers and listeners, to understand emotions and people's relational needs, and to equally learn some practical tips for supporting both yourself and others in the times of crisis. For more information on the topic, visit ted.adventist.org.
Brazil closed the month of December 2018 with 12.2 million unemployed, according to data released on January 31 by the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics. In 2017, the numbers totaled 12.7 million. Many of those who are unemployed seek help from the Seventh Day Adventist Church, which through the Adventist Solidarity Action, or ASA, a social ministries department of the Adventist Church, assists people with donations of food baskets, clothing, toiletries, and other items. However, ASA understands this act is not enough. They believe it is also necessary to offer some specialized training so that the beneficiaries can develop a trade to be able to support their families with their own income. To put it all into practice, more than 400 ASA leaders working in local Adventist churches in the East and North regions of Sao Paulo, Brazil, participated in a training sessions at Vila Matilde Adventist College. The event, called Serve, is in its second year. In the 2 days of Serve, the training had 36 speakers who were involved in 5 lectures. The 16 workshops focused on the area of social assistance and income generation. The courses offered were truffle and candy making, working with fabric and wood, cosmetology, and more. During the event, participants were also able to hear cases of social projects, testimonies, and a musical presentation with singer Jessica Dantas.
When the campfire swept through the U.S. state of California's Paradise Valley and the surrounding area this past November, it became the most deadly, costly wildfire in the state's history.
During the fire, which raged from November 8 through November 25 in the state's Butte County, many lives were lost and countless structures destroyed. The ongoing impact is still being counted.
When the Northern California Conference set up a special help fund to respond to this devastating tragedy, hundreds of members in the Pacific Northwest joined others from around the country to donate toward church-organized relief efforts.
The 6 local conferences throughout the North Pacific Union Conference eagerly mobilized their members for this critical need. As of December 31, 2018, more than $480,000 in donations were collected, most of them directed toward relief efforts for Paradise victims.
Paradise was also the location for Feather River Hospital, an Adventist health institution. Church members had family and friends who worked there who were part of the heroic efforts to evacuate patients during the height of the fire. The stories of dramatic, selfless rescues touched heartstrings across the Northwest.
The long-term effects of this fire on those who have lost homes, jobs, or loved ones have yet to be measured. Let us be in prayer for them and ever vigilant to understand and respond in tangible ways during the days ahead.
Coming up, we remember Desmond Doss on what would be his 100th birthday.
But up next, young people in Brazil write encouraging letters to cancer patients.
We may look, pray, read, think, worship, sing, and share differently, but we all look forward to the Sabbath. And we all look forward to the future when Jesus will come again. With this message in mind, we arrived at a core component for a new identity system: the creation grid, a simple 7-column structure for layout. The grid is a reference both to the prophetic timeline as well as to the creation week that culminated in the 7th day Sabbath. Regardless of what or where you are designing, you can always find information to help you communicate that we are all Seventh Day Adventists.
May I work in with you, young fella?
Yeah. Go for it.
That's the way you do it. Gotta put a little weight on it. Well, I'll put it back up here for you.
Welcome back.
February is National Cancer Prevention Month in the United States, and February 4 was World Cancer Day.
From 2012 to 2018, the number of cancer cases has increased by a 28% margin around the world.
This year, on World Cancer Day, high school seniors from an Adventist school in Brazil delivered handwritten letters they wrote to oncology patients at their local hospital.
The Adventist Church in South America sent this report.
De 2012 para 2018, o índice de casos de câncer aumentou em 28% no mundo e a estimativa para 2019 é que 600 mil novas ocorrências sejam registradas só no Brasil. Cirurgia, quimioterapia, radioterapia ou até mesmo transplante de medula óssea são algumas possibilidades de tratamento para pacientes oncológicos. Mas especialmente hoje, dia 4 de fevereiro, aqui neste hospital, os pacientes tiveram um reforço no tratamento. Na data marcada pelo Dia Mundial do Câncer, alunos do terceiro ano do ensino médio do Colégio Adventista da cidade de Itabuna entregaram cartas escritas por eles mesmos aos pacientes oncológicos da Santa Casa de Misericórdia de Itabuna, que atende mais de 100 municípios da região. O conteúdo das cartas era de mensagens de motivação.
Mesmo estando difícil, tenha fé, confie em Deus e tenha pensamento positivo. Eu e Deus estamos do seu lado, querendo sempre o seu melhor.
Para a dona Irene, que faz tratamento contra o câncer de fígado há 4 anos, a visita fez bem.
Muito feliz. Gosto muito quando aparece alguém assim diferente. Para conversar com a gente é muito bom.
A participação da sociedade no tratamento do câncer é fundamental para as pessoas que têm, principalmente para vencer o preconceito. Por isso que são criados dias de acompanhamento, dia do câncer de mama, o câncer, o outubro rosa. Todas essas políticas, ela tende a envolver a sociedade e tirar o estigma da doença.
A psicologia confirma os benefícios desta troca de experiências para os pacientes.
Quando eles se deparam olhando jovens que tiraram tempo e foram até ali para demonstrar amor e afeto sem nenhum vínculo sanguíneo ou afetivo anterior, que passa a se instaurar a partir de agora, dá a esse sujeito uma esperança maior, um olhar de que ele é visto, de que ele é lembrado.
Segundo o idealizador do projeto, que foi chamado de Cartas de Ânimo, a atividade também foi pensada com o objetivo de trazer algumas lições para os alunos. Entre elas, exercitar a solidariedade.
Ela é vista a partir do momento, eu passei isso para os meus alunos, a partir do momento que você se coloca ao lado do seu próximo, você fala, olha, eu estou aqui para andar junto contigo, para estar junto com você, né? Você não está sozinho. E foi justamente isso que eles escreveram nas cartas deles, né?
Se você chegou até aqui, ao lado do Senhor, você consegue ir até o fim. Eu imagino...
Gabriele, uma das alunas, ficou feliz por ter participado da atividade e ter contribuído positivamente com o dia de alguém.
E é muito importante isso para nós, como alunos, conhecer a realidade dessas pessoas. Com tão pouca coisa, a gente pode alegrar essas pessoas. E nunca se esqueça, mostre ao mundo a força que você tem.
Dozens of Seventh-day Adventist ministers from throughout the Adventist Church in Inter-America recently joined local ministers in Costa Rica to preach the Word of God and visit the homes of thousands of members. The activity was part of an intense spiritual revival training initiative that seeks to motivate church members to get involved in the mission of sharing the gospel. Coined as the Holy Convocation in Communion and Mission this year, the initiative follows the mandate found in Joel 2:15 and 16 to call a sacred assembly, consecrate, and receive the Holy Spirit to fulfill the mission and prepare a people for the second coming. The training is the 4th annual event organized by the Region's Stewardship Ministries Department to equip pastors to better understand stewardship principles and their role in strengthening revival and reformation for every member and family. More than 120 pastors traveled from 18 of Inter-America's major church regions and North America to preach in more than 130 churches, as well as visited more than 4,700 Adventist families. The Adventist Church in Costa Rica also held dozens of health expos across the country, as well as community outreach activities for Children's Days before and after the Holy Convocation Training Initiative. For more information, visit interamerica.org.
February 7, 2019 marks 100 years since Desmond Doss' birth in Lynchburg, Virginia. Doss, who passed away in 2006, grew up to be one of the greatest examples of love and kindness of the century as he served as an unarmed U.S. Army medic in World War II. Armed only with his faith and a prayer, the story of his courage and conviction is now known by millions thanks to the movie Hacksaw Ridge. Doss's stance on keeping the Sabbath and refusing arms angered his commanding officers, but Doss stayed true to his convictions. Eventually, he was allowed to serve as a medic and not carry a weapon. Doss became the first conscientious objector to receive the Medal of Honor without firing a single shot. Out of more than 3,500 heroic individuals to be awarded the Medal of Honor for above and beyond the call of duty, only his citation reads, "Far above and beyond the call of duty." In 12 hours, Doss accomplished more than just saving 75 men. His actions have touched and changed millions of people around the world. He will continue to be admired and respected for generations.
John W. Thurber, best known as second tenor of the King's Herald Quartet with the Voice of Prophecy from 1961 through 1967, passed away Sunday, February 3 in Lincoln, Nebraska. He was 87 years of age.
Thurber was widely known and loved across the North American division during his long life of service to the Adventist Church, including territories in 6 Union conferences.
Thurber was also widely known for his groundbreaking youth work during the years he served as a teacher, pastor, conference and union youth director, family life educator, and conference president.
Thurber was preceded in death by his daughter, Sherry Juhas. He is survived by his wife of 65 years, Patsy, sons Mick and Gary Thurber, their spouses, Jana and Diane, son-in-law, Gary Juhas, 5 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren, and numerous nieces and nephews.
Coming up, Emily Mastrapa is here to talk about a new resource from the church's stewardship department.
But up next, Adventist Mission is here to tell a touching story about how what your mission dollars are doing in Madagascar.
Have you ever been to a concert or a sporting event, or really anywhere where people gather for one purpose? When they come together, especially for the same reason, often something amazing happens. At the apex of the gathering, be it a touchdown or a concerto, or a political gathering, or what have you, people stand up and they begin to clap, and they cheer, and it's beautiful to watch, to see so many people gathered for the same reason. But sometimes, something else happens as well. Sometimes, the clapping moves from just random noise to a very clear and undeniable cadence. The clapping moves from disunity to unity. And rooms, arenas, stadiums are brought together in a deep sense of unity towards the same mission, the same goal. That unity, it comes from a deep sense of gratitude, and is spontaneous in its inception. It just happens, and it's clear in its mission. Such is the idea of unity from diversity. And this is a deeply biblical concept. The church is unified as it is the body of Christ. Not the same, we're not all hands or feet or eyes, but some of us are the guts, the thighs, and the toes of the body of Christ. But we are brought together for a mission, and that mission is to live in gratitude, to know that we are saved.
Welcome back.
Students like Maruha were blessed by your contribution to the 13th Sabbath offering in 2013.
Come see how your giving helped an Adventist university in Madagascar.
Adventist Mission has more.
Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world. It is situated off the southeastern coast of Africa. The population is approximately 25 million, and there's about 155 people for every Adventist. Here, rice paddy fields stretch into the horizon, both in the capital city of Antananarivo and in the rural areas. In this peaceful setting, the Adventist Church owns and operates the Adventist University of Zurcher. This university offers affordable, quality higher education in an environment committed to Seventh Day Adventist values. Since 1996, it has promoted the development of the whole person through academic, religious, and social programs.
Seventh-day Adventist Church has received the funds from the 13th Sabbath offerings on 2013 to build 2 buildings. One has the university library and the other one is for the technology building. The construction of these 2 buildings helped the university to accomplish its mission by getting more students to come to get university education.
The library is one of the biggest university libraries in the country. Many academic and spiritual books line its shelves. Students have online access and enjoy open spaces for group study. The building also houses the Ellen G. White Research Center and the Language Institute, where students can learn to read, write, and speak both French and English. Marua is a student at Zurcher. She loves the Language Institute and is grateful for the opportunity to attend school here. To her, Zurcher is more than just a school she studies at. It's a place where she can live out her faith. When Marua first accepted the Adventist message and chose to be baptized, she feared her family would disown her and send her away.
My parents didn't accept my decision. It was a challenging time for me. I drew strength from talking with teachers and friends. My friends stayed by my side and helped me stand firm in my decision.
Marua now feels closer to God as she studies His Word and connects with like-minded friends. She is studying nursing so she can help people in need. Students have also benefited from the new technology building, where the university expanded its curriculum. Here, more students can be equipped for this high-demand field.
The new technology building is very nice. We have a suitable laboratory, the space is big, there's room for everyone, and we have 1 computer per student for hands-on training.
I'd like to send a message to all Adventist members who gave offerings for the 13th Sabbath to Seventh-day Adventist Church. Thank you, because from your offering we were able to make a dream a reality. Thank you.
For more than 100 years, the 13th Sabbath offering has empowered the Seventh-day Adventist Church to launch boats, heal the sick, build schools, reach the unreached, and change lives in many countries. Thank you for supporting the 13th Sabbath offering this quarter.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting adventistmission.org. Then click on videos at the top.
Stewardship is so much bigger than just paying tithe and keeping track of your money. It involves everything God has entrusted us with.
For this week's social media segment, Emily Mastrapa is here to tell us about a new resource from the General Conference Stewardship Department.
Stewardship means being responsible about the gifts God has entrusted to us. This affects every area of our life, including our time, talents, treasure, and trust. We have a greater peace and treat others better when we realize that we owe everything to God. Our focus becomes outward and not self-centered. The aim of the Stewardship Department of the General Conference is to provide resources for stewardship educators and leaders, and to encourage all who are on the path to becoming better stewards of God's gracious gifts. One of the resources the department has provided is a free magazine app. You can find the app in the App Store under the Dynamic Stewards. They also provide a daily devotional on their website, stewardship.adventist.org. Another great resource that they provide is a daily video to go with the daily Bible chapter provided by Revival and Reformation. Every day there is a new Bible chapter, and every day the Stewardship Department has a new video to go with it and to go more in depth on the chapter. Each video is about 3 or 4 minutes long, so you can quickly get all the information on the daily chapter. You can watch these videos on their YouTube page, GC Stewardship Ministries, or on their Facebook page at Dynamic Stewards.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, we learn about some of the difficulties in the early days of Ellen White's ministry.
This week in Adventist history, we focus for once just on the United States. February 10, 1850 was the day Ellen White shared with friends about the difficulties she faced in the early days of her prophetic ministry, trying to help the small, scattered groups of Seventh-day Sabbath-keeping former Millerites to coalesce into a movement. On February 10, 169 years ago this week, she wrote to Philip and Nancy Collins, "We should have written you before, but we have had no certain abiding place, but have traveled in rain, snow, and blow with the child from place to place. I could not get time to answer any letters, and it took all of James's time to write for the paper and get out the hymn book." It was on this kind of exhausting, all-consuming commitment that, eventually, the Seventh-day Adventist Church was founded. On February 11, 1911, in the large city of Philadelphia, the first black Adventist church in the state of Pennsylvania was organized. It had 16 charter members, baptized by Thomas H. Branch, who you see in this photograph here, after 5 months of evangelistic meetings in the Philadelphia region. On February 14, 1975, Jerry L. Pettis died when his private plane crashed in the mountains of Southern California. Pettis is notable in Seventh-day Adventist history because in 1966 he became the first church member to be elected to the United States Congress. Born in 1916, Pettis graduated in 1938 from Pacific Union College. After serving in the U.S. Air Force in World War II, he worked as a commercial airline pilot, later going into business. Perhaps reflecting Adventist views on creation, during his 5 terms in the House of Representatives, Pettis introduced significant environmental protection legislation, which was passed after his death at age 58. The Jerry L. Pettis Memorial Veterans Administration Medical Center in Loma Linda, California, was named in his honor. That was this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching ANN. You can join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We'd love to hear from you. Send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
Be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos and then write up a summary of the event's important details. And feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10.
The passage says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Jesus Christ for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them."
That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.